Getting ready to start. Let me lock this door for the little tiny one not to run around. All right. This is going to be kind of like it's episode 0 for a reason. And I'll tell everyone in just a second why it is episode 0. All right. Let me put the tweet out. Can you schedule tweets out? Get the tweet out. All right. What's going on? What is going on? It has been just a week or two since I have actually done anything. So yeah, gonna do this thing hopefully the right way. It is episode 0 for a reason. Hey, everybody out there, Win 10, the very long name, Cody Learn, Windows 11 launch day. There's a lot, and I purposely scheduled this to be today. Hopefully this camera, my older Sony camera here, will focus on my face the whole time instead of blurring out. I'm not using my very nice Sony camera right now. But we're going to start in just a second. We have a whole lot. It's just going to be me this time. Eventually there will be guests and stuff like that. I have something in my eye. I haven't even started recording yet. There's a huge itinerary here. Hopefully I'll be able to get through all of it. Yeah, I'll look at chat in the middle of, like, towards the end of each section, roughly. Maybe Q&As, who knows? I have stuff everywhere. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Welcome, everybody, to the very, very first episode of the next, what did I call this? I called it Next Windows on Air. So, let's get this started. Let me hit record. Boom. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the very first episode of Next Windows on Air, my podcast. I've done podcasting in the past. I did the Art of Thought podcast that was on all the platforms, but this time it is for this channel, Next Windows. And this is going to be a rough one. That's why it's called episode 0. As you know, this is Windows 11 launch day. So there's a lot of things that's been going on, a lot of news. I couldn't even get to all the news. I went to the gym, I went places, I couldn't get to all the news, but there's a lot of things out here going on. There's a lot of changes that has happened in Windows 11, just a ton of things. So for starters, like I said, welcome everybody. My name is Kwaku Asafu Ajay. Obviously Ghana is my home country, but I'm here in the US, and yeah, so let me talk about some of the highlight changes that came in Windows 11. So in Windows 11, we got some changes. It was the start menu. We also got widgets. We got search, a new search. We got rounded corners pretty much everywhere, and I'll talk about that stuff later on in depth. We got Mica, which is kind of like a display style of it. We also got taskbar changes. So the taskbar has been kind of revamped and kind of downgraded in some ways that even I don't like as a creator. And then we also got some changes to the bottom corner area. Microsoft has a weird name of the bottom right corner of the taskbar, so I'll get into that. So let's start with the task, or rather the start menu as a whole for the highlight changes here. And I have a whole list of stuff here on my left side. That's why I keep looking there. So we starting with the start menu. You can pretty much just, you can step away from your computer and just listen to this, just listen to my voice. So with the start menu, we got pretty much that Windows 10X style start menu. It is that start menu that has it's just like one column, and I'm going to pull it up just for me to refer to it. You guys won't see it just yet, but it has that single it's kind of like an app launcher. And there's some gripes with it in terms of how you can the recommended area where it only shows recommended files and things like that, but there are some tweaks that you can do to it to make that thing change to what you want. It is not nearly as customizable as the Windows 10 version, but it's, I guess, more approachable to pretty much everybody else's what normal people that don't watch this channel would want. It's approachable. It's easy if you want it, if you use Android, or if you, I guess I can't really say if you use iOS because they just have a single screen that you launch everything other than their apps list. But I guess we can compare it to the apps list slash the Android launchers that you can get on Android. There's just a whole lot of things going on with the start menu. It is just a thing that I can't even say. I wouldn't say it's an upgrade, but I like it because it's fast. When the breaking bugs don't happen. In fact, let me mute this iPad before it bothers me. But all the bugs that will happen with it, and it's kind of interesting. Like when you look at the start menu, it's got a bunch of icons. It's got recommended section. It's got your profile in the bottom left corner. It's got a lot of things, and then if you could launch all apps, you can see all of your applications just like that. It's very just interesting. So going into widgets to me is a downgrade, like a very, very bad downgrade in my opinion. It just doesn't look good to me at all. Widgets is just it doesn't look good. Widgets is a place that I personally would tell people to just disable it, and I'll make videos on how to disable it and how to do certain things. And yeah, Windows 10, watch out for Nightbot because it is ruthless. But widgets is a thing that, to me, when you see it, it has a lot of advertisements on it. And I'm about to pull it up right now, but it has a lot of advertisements. It's got like strange celebrity gossip. No matter what you do to change it in the news and interest, essentially, when you open it up and hit edit, it's got a lot of advertisements, and it's just, to me, it's not very well implemented. It's kind of like a way to inject ads more into Windows, a product that most people just purchase either through their laptop, buying a computer, or just, they buy the little USB puck. In fact, with the USB puck idea, I don't even know where that is for Windows 11 right now. Currently, there's no for PC builders and system builders. There's no, like, you can't just buy the Windows 11 USB puck and just plug it into your computer and then boot it up, fresh hard drive and everything like that. It looks like right now you have to simply just open up Windows 10. You have to install Windows 10. So buy Windows 10 Home or Pro and then upgrade from there, which takes forever compared to just doing Windows 11 and starting from there. You could do the Insider program, but not everybody should do the Insider program. And you've seen all of my build videos. When I actually see some, decent changes to builds, that's when I upgrade the things. You see that, like, the Insider program is not for everybody. And if you don't know how to upgrade, if you don't know how to fix your computer or do anything like that, the Insider program is not going to be for you. So that's just another thing. So let me see if I can find Windows 11, and then I can see right there. So Windows 11, again, it's new. It just came out today. It is that thing that, I guess, let's transition over to look at Windows 11. So Windows 11, it just came out today. And as you can see here, Windows 11, it's got that updated start menu right there. It's got your, centered taskbar by default. It's also got just obviously a new Windows logo, slightly rounded because Windows 11 has a lot of rounded corners on it. It says bring balance to your desktop. Basically, what they're talking about is when you go up to those corners, those hot corners over there. Basically, when you're trying to, move the I don't even know what to call it, the title bar around, you can finally do not task view, but you can finally put them where you want. You can put your programs and apps where you want, and it's a lot easier and approachable. Snapping, there you go, snap view. So you can finally do that. I don't know about life being better together. They've also injected Microsoft Teams into this, and that's another thing that if you like Microsoft Teams or if you're a person who uses it all the time, Microsoft seems to be really trying to push putting Microsoft Teams as a thing for everybody to use, not just businesses. And that can be kind of rocky. Honestly, I wouldn't fully recommend Microsoft Teams, considering that we also did get a refreshed Microsoft Skype, or just Skype. And that was random that just popped up out of nowhere. I don't have that in the show notes right now, so that'll probably just be a video on its own. But Skype decided to also do a redesign for the Windows 11 style everything, and just Skype just looks good now. I gotta admit, I haven't used it in a while because most people just use FaceTime at this point, or Google Duo, or honestly Facebook Messenger or Instagram video, whatever the way you do your video chat, Zoom. Most people just use that for their families, and they don't really think about Microsoft Teams. None of my family thinks about Microsoft Teams for family stuff, so I don't know where Microsoft's going with that. But in general, that's what they're claiming here. We're just going through their website, seeing why they're highlighting these things on Windows 11. So this is called chat. Basically, it ends up at the bottom on your start menu. Basically, if you go up here, you see this icon down here, and that's going to be that chat icon. And if you click it, what they want you to do is have an address book of people, and then you add people's emails that sign up for Teams for home or family, and you just call them up or chat with them at any time. But honestly, I wouldn't say anybody would really use this, in my opinion. And I agree with a lot of the bloggers and creators out there that say, I don't see a family member using Microsoft Teams. Just the name Microsoft Teams does not sound interesting to me for family stuff and for fun stuff. Let's say I'm calling a significant other, I'm calling a friend or whatever it is. I can't see myself saying, hey, get on Teams, hop on Teams. Because Teams makes me think that I'm working on something. And to me, sounding like it's going to work on something when I'm trying to just call a friend that I haven't talked to in a while just to chat doesn't sound good to me. So that's why I don't think Teams should do it. They should have probably just made this chat thing be Skype. They should have made that Skype, because Skype is what a lot of people used to have. I don't know many people who use Skype even anymore, but Skype is more family approachable than Teams, in my opinion, because the name of Teams just kind of pushes you away. So going down further, you can see kind of the layout there. They want you to be able to message people and do all this stuff. Microsoft did also say in the Windows 11 announcement that you would actually be able to text phone numbers through this chat interface here. Not similar to your phone, but like its own dedicated interface. Basically this, you'd be able to just type in someone's phone number and start chatting with them, like texting them. So I'm wondering if that's going to be something that maybe comes from, your phone, the update that you probably saw during the Microsoft event. For the Surface event, they kind of showed off like a interesting looking your phone, like a different looking your phone interface. So I'm thinking that maybe this kind of integration with chat, with whatever they call it, Microsoft Chat says chat from Microsoft Teams. I'm thinking that's going to be integrating with your phone as well, because it says here, however you prefer, call, chat, text, video, right from your desktop. And then it's got a 2 here, which I'm not going to get to just yet. It says connect with anybody, chat, calling built into the taskbar, integrate with Outlook Calendar, making it easy to connect with just a couple of clicks. This with Outlook Calendar, obviously they haven't said it yet because it's not out yet, just like the Android subsystem is not out yet for anyone to use Android apps from like the Amazon App Store. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 95% sure eventually it won't just be Outlook and Calendar, it'll also be with your phone. I'm 100% sure they will integrate your phone with this chat interface. That way, that will be the way that you chat with your friends and stuff like that through this interface and send text messages, make calls and stuff. I'm 100% that they will use your phone integration. So that way you won't have to open up your phone separately. I'm sure they're going to do that. So hopefully I'm right about this, but I'm like 95% sure that that's what's going to happen. A few changes also. You see, it says PowerPoint, Microsoft Edge, Teams, and more apps. It says refocus your workflow. So right here, you got basically those applications, PowerPoint and Edge right there. If we click on that, you see this is the widgets that I was talking about before. This is the news area down below it. I can't show it in this because of the current setup that I have, but if you scroll down more on this, when you have this up, it shows a lot of news stuff, and a lot of the time it's just politics and junk stuff that I personally don't care about. If you like politics, it'll be something for you, but even when I have disabled politics and all the random like celebrity gossip stuff from my news and interest feed, it still shows it. So I have no idea what's going on there. And then another thing, I'm not sure if they fixed it, but it seems to be an issue that Edge just kind of takes over your computer no matter what. Edge with the widgets and anything you click on Windows, other than like certain things, it seems to be that you get basically you open up Microsoft Edge by default when you click on any of these integrated stuff, no matter what your default browser stuff is. And we don't even need to get to the default browser stuff because of, the things that have happened with it. Going deeper, we got Work and Play. They obviously updated the Microsoft Store. And as of pretty much last night, Monday, October 4th, Disney Plus, native Disney Plus came out finally for the Microsoft Store. So if you like Disney Plus, if you have kids and things like that, it is out. You can download it now. Apparently, because it's native and it's not the website, it actually lets you play up to 4K. So I haven't tested that out. I don't have a Disney Plus subscription right now, but apparently the web is limited to 720p. And so if you download the app on your computer here, your Windows 11 computer, and I believe Windows 10 as well, you will also be able to finally play in up to 4K, which is pretty dope. So updated store, new layout, new just about everything. Looks really good. Looks like a big upgrade. It's got dark mode and it's got light mode. Uses a mica design, which I will get into in just a second. And then you also got Edge. Edge has gone through a number of updates to the point where Edge has gotten updates so frequently and so like chunky updates that Google is noticing, and they are updating their own browser to kind of look like Edge. That's how crazy Edge has done. Edge came from being like Internet Explorer, and then they took away all that stuff and they decided to make it Chromium based, which is the open source project from Google, to the point where when they started adding features to Edge and things like that were brilliant, Google started taking notice. And as of now, in their Canary builds of Google Chrome, you now have the Windows 11 styled menus and things like that in Google Chrome. Google is the one working on this. But Edge that Microsoft makes, they have a whole bunch of things in it, and you could make like a whole episode on its own, podcast episode on its own, doing this. So going through more, they do have the Xbox app. That's why they say you can play games with play games with graphics that rival reality. And then you can play with others on console, obviously, because your Xbox account just signs in and you do that stuff with it. Windows 11 makes it happen, although this Xbox stuff is also available on Windows 10, and Windows 10 will be supported, I believe, till 2025 or 2027. I'm not sure. I think it's 2025. So you'll get the new Microsoft Store in Windows 10 as well, and you'll be able to do these Xbox stuff. Cloud gaming is also available for Windows devices, so you can not just go to xbox.com/play, but you can also go to your Xbox app that's built into your computer, and you could just sign in with your Microsoft account that has Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and do cloud gaming. So even if your computer is like a Surface Go 3, you can still play AAA titles. They may not be as great feeling as native installations, but you'll still be able to play the latest games from Xbox that's given to Xbox through that service. Going more, there's just so much. Like, that's why I had to do it today. It says PC that adapts to you. So basically, just segueing real quick into the PC and hardware releases, Microsoft actually, in fact, updated their Surface line right there. So now they have new Surfaces, ignoring the Surface Duo 2, because they did, in fact, create that finally. And Microsoft has basically the Surface Pro 8 finally. It has Thunderbolt 4 in it and all that stuff. These are all Intel based. Unfortunately, they finally have a new device altogether, new form factor, taking over the Surface Book 3, which is the Surface Laptop Studio. I always mess up on that one. Surface Laptop Studio. I always call it the Surface Book Studio for some reason. And basically, what that does is it kind of hybridizes. So basically, it brings the features of the Surface Studio, that big 28-inch, overly expensive device. It brings it over to it brings it over to a laptop form factor. So basically, the Surface laptop form factor adds this little easel kind of screen, kind of like what Acer has been doing with their Concept D line stuff, and some other manufacturers have been doing. But to me, the design of it overall looks very sleek and clean, like an Apple-esque, and just perfected. Much better than even Acer's design. I haven't been able to try it out myself, but I plan on to doing that probably pretty soon. One of the key features of that thing is that the Surface Slim Pen, that you have a Surface Slim Pen 2, actually mounts underneath the Surface Laptop Studio. So in fact, let's go and click on it and see what happens. So this is the Surface Laptop Studio, and the Surface Slim Pen goes underneath it whenever this wants to decide to load. But basically, when it decides to load, the Surface Slim Pen 2 goes underneath it in a strange way. That's why there's that little groove underneath. Let me see if I can find it. So you see her working on it. I can't seem to find an image of that because the top part will not load. But in general, it does mount underneath. You see it kind of hidden under there, and that's why you see that little lip underneath the little device. It's kind of like a MacBook Pro, and then it has a lip underneath, kind of like a heating pad or a cooling pad underneath. And of course, this is preloaded with Windows 11. So as soon as you buy it, as of today, it just released, it's preloaded with Windows 11. And you don't have to think about any upgrade path or anything like that. You can join all the insider previews, the TPM 2.0 chip stuff. Don't have to deal with it because it is just going to work because it's preloaded with it from the get-go, just like every laptop you'll buy from here going forward. So that's another nicety, just like that. So going back here, they updated the Surface Pro X to add a Wi-Fi only option. They also updated Surface Go 3 with some just updated internals. And then you got Laptop Studio. You got your Surface Pro 8 finally with the Surface Pro X kind of design language with it. One weird oddity is that the Surface line pretty much they're all just going with the Surface Slim Pen design. That weird design. In fact, I might have one here. Let me see if I can get it out. So the Surface Slim Pen design, let me go back to me. So if you see right here, this is the Surface Slim Pen. Is it going to focus on my face or the Surface Slim Pen's? It doesn't want to focus on it, but the Surface Slim Pen is kind of like a drafting pencil essentially. And that's just all right, but I hope that's not the design that they stick with for all the Surface devices from here going forward. I kind of like the normal pen feeling thing and not a drafting pencil feel because it feels strange. The Surface Slim Pen 2 also has haptic feedback, which some people have thought that the haptic feedback you can barely feel it, and other people say they feel it and it's kind of annoying. And apparently Brad Sams from Stardock at this point, he also says that the haptic feedback in the Surface Slim Pen 2 works on every application, and that's kind of strange in my opinion, but we'll see. You'd think the developer has to implement that support to it for specific things. I personally don't know the reason why I would want haptics in my pen, in my stylus. I have a Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and it doesn't have haptics. Palm Pilots don't have haptics. You writing on a piece of paper and with a pen and pencil does not have haptics. You just feel the material that you're writing on, and that's about it. So I personally have no idea what the point of having haptics in a pen is. Maybe someone will answer that for me. And then the final thing before I go back to the other stuff is that all of these devices are basically Intel, other than the Surface Pro X. And all of these devices, other than the Surface Duo 2, are available today. So you can purchase them all for a lot of money today. Now, going back to the initial topic at hand, mica. So mica from Microsoft directly, this definition, they say mica is an opaque dynamic material that incorporates theme and desktop wallpaper to paint the background of long-lived windows such as apps and settings. So designer jumble away from all of that. Basically, you can think of mica as, let's see, I have this little I have this little tag that I got from France with Pikachu on it, right? I don't know if it's gonna focus on the tag or me, but this tag has black in the background and Pikachu embossed in the foreground. Let me see if it'll focus on me at all or the tag, which it won't. So this tag has that on it. Think of mica, the mica material, as this background, the black background. And then everything is printed. The details and the preview and the navigation and stuff is printed on top of that mica background. And the mica background, rather than it being opaque, kind of bleeds through what the desktop wallpaper or whatever is behind it shows. So that's what mica is, and that's what Microsoft is pushing for the new Windows 11 interface stuff, is the mica material stuff. So when you see applications where it kind of bleeds through, you see what's going on in the background of it, that's mica. So you always know when you see that on Twitter, mica is that material behind, that background material behind the details of an application. In fact, I can kind of transition back to this website here, Microsoft's Surface website. If this was mica right here, and mica material in the background, the white, mica would be the white. And unfortunately, this is opaque. This is not transparent in any way. But if it was opaque, if it was transparent in some way, mica would be this white background, and the foreground would be all the details: Surface Pro 8, Surface Pro X, Duo 2, Go 3, and stuff like that. All this gray stuff and everything printed on top would be the navigation and things like that that goes on top of mica. So that's what you can think about when you hear mica in terms of Windows. So going deeper in, we got so much more. There's another thing there. We have how to update to Windows 11. There are some interesting things on how to update to Windows 11. And it's just interesting here, how to update to Windows 11. So I'm going to just keep the Windows 11 page up just here. So how to update to Windows 11. There are multiple ways to update to Windows 11, and I just discovered more today. Windows 11 to update, you can either be a seeker, and when you hear Mary Jo Foley, Paul Thurrott, and Leo Laporte, and just a whole bunch of people say be a seeker, they basically just mean go to Windows Update or type in check for updates or updates on your Windows 11 or Windows 10 rather start menu. Just search for updates, and then search. And actually, when you get to the update screen, you just hit check for updates. And when you check for updates, even if you haven't received a little notification saying Windows 11 is now available for you, you'll probably get Windows 11 regardless of the fact. But if you don't ever check for updates, you'll just wait till you get that little prompt in the corner of your screen, and then that's how you'll know that Windows 11 is available for your computer. That doesn't mean about the system requirements stuff that Microsoft has jumbled up a lot of, and I won't even get to that right now. But the other option is to wait for your computer to prompt, like I said. Basically, wait for that pop-up dialog to come up saying that Windows 11 is now available. Like I'm trying to check my mom and tell me when you see that pop up. I want to see how long from today's date when it launches to when her Acer laptop gets the update. The other thing too is you can join the Insider program. So the Insider program basically is the Windows Insider program, and it lets you test builds of Windows, basically versions of Windows, ahead of the game before they release to the general public. Like my mom is the general public. So you have to have a Microsoft account, and you have to opt in with insider.windows.com to get to it. And that's how you would get to the Insider program, essentially. So you would just do that, sign in with your Microsoft account, and then you go to your settings application. You'll see in the corner of your screen, it would say Windows Insider program. And then since you're already signed in on that same Microsoft account, that's how you get to the Insider program. So it's pretty straightforward. It's not that hard to do, really. But in fact, let me pull it up right here. Let's see. So right there. So this is the Windows Insider program website, and you would go through, you would sign into your Microsoft account there. And then you can also go to your getting started, quick start guide, and things like that. So whether you're a developer, Windows server person, business, or just a normal person, honestly, you can do that. Register for the Insider program. You can even see more details of how they work. There are different channels out there. I have created a whole video talking about the different channels. in the Windows Insider program, but I know that video needs an update because of Windows 11's release. So there's the dev channel, which is like the fast track channel. Essentially, you will get, currently the dev channel is getting builds that are not coming to Windows 11 anytime soon. Like, we are far ahead of what is at release today. So the dev channel is for the people who are true enthusiasts and know how to fix a computer. In fact, the whole Insider program, you should pretty much not use it on a work machine, and you should know how to fix a computer in order to do it. Because if something happens, like it's almost happened to me a lot of times, you should know how to be able to fix it and redo things. And you should know that you could lose data and all that stuff across the whole Insider program, but more so the dev channel. The beta channel is a little bit more stable. Builds don't come out that often. In the Windows Insider dev channel, builds come out like every week. In the beta channel, they don't come out too often. And then the release preview channel, basically, those builds that have been tested by the dev beta channel, when they're all fully approved for the most part, they go to release preview for final testing and final diagnosis. And if all goes clear, builds that come from the release preview channel end up for the general public eventually. So that's essentially what's happening there. So that's basically the Windows Insider program, how that works and things like that. So there's the Insider program there. The other thing too is Microsoft's unofficial method for unsupported systems. Now, I don't even know where I can find this link to this. I found it this morning when I was just looking up things, and basically the way that works is, it is very just, I can't even explain how that works. So Microsoft, there's a whole system requirements thing with TPM and things like that. And basically, when if your computer doesn't support Windows 11, it'll tell you in your settings application saying like this supports Windows 11 or it doesn't. However, there's some like registry key stuff that you can type in and things like that and check for updates to get access to Windows 11. It's very, I mean, I don't know exactly how that whole thing works, but that is a thing that happens for Windows 11. And Microsoft is the one that posted that blog post. Let me see if I have the blog post up. I do not have that blog post up, but Microsoft created that blog post about Windows 11 on how to do that. So that's a way you can do it. Even if you're not supported, even if you don't have Ryzen 2000 and above, Intel was the 8th or 7th gen and above CPUs with TPM chips and stuff like that, you can still upgrade to Windows 11. Their only drawback is that they can't guarantee that you'll get all the security updates that will come to Windows 11 if your computer isn't supported and you go through that route. So it's not recommended, but if you really, really, really want Windows 11, you can still do it. No one's alienated out. It's just watch out for support and updates. If you don't care about that, then go for Windows 11. I think I might make a video talking about that specific thing, because I think that's really interesting on how many comments I've gotten about whose computer is this and that. Obviously, I can't answer all of them because I don't work for Microsoft, but that's a thing. Next thing up for the bat is Office 2011. Office 2021 rather. Office 2021 came out, and let me see if I can pull it up. There it is. So Office 2021 came out. So it came out October 5th. This is the old blog post from October 1st. And basically they were saying that concurrently with the release of Windows 11, Office 2021 would come out. Now, most of you guys that are going to listen and watch this, most of you probably just use Microsoft 365, which is like, what, $9.99 a month or so, and you get all of Office anyway, and a terabyte of cloud storage, according to this website here from Microsoft, including myself. But this Office 2021 is the perpetual version. It is the version that does not expire. You just buy it once, and I believe what price is it? It is $150 for the home and student, and it is $249.99 for the home and business. And the only difference between those two versions is that home and business includes Outlook. That is the difference between that. If you really need Outlook and all the features of it, home and business for you. Otherwise, you can save yourself $100 and just pay for the home and home and student one, and you'll be set to go. Or if you don't mind paying a subscription instead of forking out a whole $150 or $250 US dollars, you can just go with the Microsoft 365, which is $9.99 a month. Obviously, that adds up, but it's up to everybody else. But that's Office 2021, and basically what that includes includes Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, and Microsoft Teams. And then the home and business includes all of that stuff plus Outlook. So it's like they kind of just threw home and business out there. It seems like they could have just included, taken away home and business altogether and just made it home in general, or just Microsoft Office 2021. They could have probably not had two SKUs, but that's Microsoft for you. They need a way to charge $100 more for one program called Outlook. So that's that for Outlook. That's pretty much that for Microsoft Office. They do have a redesign for it. And I have actually talked about this redesign, and I've made a video on this redesign. Some elements have changed with it. Where you can search has changed up top. There's just changes all around. Overall, they made things look cleaner. They made things look simpler, even though they haven't really changed anything. But you can collaborate easier, kind of like Google Docs that I just had to learn how to use for this class. Microsoft Office 2021, if you're familiar with 2013, I think you'll be right at home with 2021 if you want to upgrade your perpetual version to 2021. The only really difference is a few things, including the UI update, the Windows 11 UI update. So it says life's better with Microsoft Teams, collaboration, stay focused with a fresh user interface. Like I said, it's available today. It's very expensive, but everything has been refreshed for it. And then they said access other features previously exclusive to Microsoft 365. So if you're a Microsoft 365 person and now you just don't want to pay a subscription anymore, you can pay for this and get up to date and just keep those features. You just won't get any new features, I believe. So that's that for Microsoft Office. Next thing we have to talk about is pretty much Google Chrome. So Google Chrome got an update. Google Chrome got an update, and like I said in the beginning of I almost said video. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, Google Chrome got a Windows 11 kind of theme update. But that's in the Canary channel currently, basically the dev channel of Google Chrome. So it's not out in the general public, but you can still download it if you want. I don't think it's gonna do much. Just expect that it's gonna update a ton because it is the Canary channel. But Google Chrome got an update, and basically what that does, let me see if I can pull it up. Google Chrome Windows 11. What that does basically is it allows you finally to see Google Chrome kind of like how Windows 11 does everything with rounded corners and things like that. So I'm going to pull up this here. Transition right there. So this is Windows latest. This was posted on October 2nd. So yeah, Google Chrome got the update. And basically what that does, let's see if I can zoom in real quick. There we go. So what that does basically is it gives rounded corners for the context menus of Google Chrome. So that's pretty dope if you like rounded corners. They're not the same rounded corners that Google Chrome has overall, like the circle rounded corners. They're more square circle rounded corners, like how that is. But it's an overall refresh of Google Chrome. It is in the Canary channel. It is not recommended for the normal person because you'll get 1,000 updates for it, but it does work. There's no transparency. There's no mica, keyword. There's no mica transparency yet for it, like Edge has, but apparently that will come. But yeah, I like it. It's so far so good. All you do is you enable an H key. So you basically type in Chrome flags. You go to the Chrome flags menu, and then you just search for Windows 11, and you'll see Windows 11 style menus. Restart the browser, and you got those context menus in line with exactly what you want. And basically, if you want, like I said, all of the show notes will be in the description, and then this podcast will also be on just about every podcasting platform you can think of. So that way, if you want to click it on your phone or on your computer, you can easily get to those links. It'll also be on YouTube, so that's why I haven't put up any links yet. But yeah, you just basically just copy this. If you don't feel like typing it in, Chrome //flags, pop that up. It'll open up your settings in Chrome and type in Windows 11, relaunch the browser, and then you'll get these context menus here with rounded corners, and that's about it. Going again, we're getting to the very end of things. We are towards the end of just about the podcast, I have two things to pretty much mention. I have a concept of the week, and then I also have an app pick of the week. So I'm gonna go into the concept or concepts of the week because I like to see concepts. So the concept of the week is here. Let me pull it up. It's kind of hard to figure out. Let me see. There it is. So this is the concept of the week. In fact, let me put some headphones on for this one because this one is something you pretty much just gotta see for yourself. And transition. There we go. Let's watch the concept of the week. This one is from Concept Central. And basically what that is a concept for Windows 12 because I looked at Windows 11 concepts and now Windows 12 concept. I have to see it, and I already have a feeling I know what to expect from this one, but I want to surprise myself, so let's go in. We got two concepts right here, right now. Is it playing? Hold on, let me make sure it's playing because it doesn't seem to be moving. There we go. All right, so let me see how this concept looks from Concept Central. Ooh, I gotta lower the volume a little bit. There we go. It's too loud. All new start menu. All right. It looks good. I'm not going to pause it just yet. I see Messenger in there. Yep, Windows Messenger. It looks good. It looks really good. All right. It's moving a little too fast for me, so I don't want to pause it. I want to play it through just right now. New File Explorer. I can already expect, yep, this is going to be like, it's too quick. He needs to slow down a little bit. I can't even look at it just fast enough. Favorites, pictures. Reminds me of the Files version 2 app that has been out for a while. You redesign Volume Hub. Okay. All right. And widgets on the desktop. I want to pause it so bad, but I can't. I don't want to do it right now. All right. San Francisco, California, rain. Search for anything. So it's kind of like max one search. And for all those of you new people joining me right now, we're looking at concepts right now for the two concept picks of the week. In fact, let me switch my audio because I did not actually set my audio to be. There we go. So let's go back, play it through with pausing so I can actually look at what's to be seen there. It is very loud on my ears. All right, Windows 12 concept. Move the mouse out of the way. All right. So it looks like they separated everything from being in one place. And instead of, they have some icons in the middle and some on the left. Okay. All new start menu. So I can already see right there, they pretty much brought back the Windows 10 style start menu in this concept. I see email messages there. Everything is rounded. It doesn't, everything is aligned correctly. Okay, I was just making sure everything was aligned. It was going to bother me. I like the look. It's kind of like a slight micaized Windows 10 with some Windows 11 style things in it. Centered icons there, I guess. Keep going. It looks good, though. I got to say, this guy did a good job, he or she. Introducing Windows Messenger. So, all right. So everything is very, very big. Very big. If this ever became a real thing, like a real app that was made, I would definitely tell that person to make things a little smaller because they seem to take up way too much space. There's no need to make everything take up that much space since it's not an iPad. Keep going. Dark mode. Dark mode looks good. Everything looks so clean on this thing. Like everything looks clean on this. Keeping on going through. They got a new file explorer. So you go through with tabs. So again, this is more so kind of like if anyone has tried out Files or Files UWP essentially, but it's called Files now. That person made a really solid Files application that I even use right now, and it pretty much looks like this. And I'm not sure if I have to remember, but I think that this is pretty much the same thing other than the search. So the search all files thing is the only thing different. But other than that, this pretty much reminds me of Files UWP. And I did a video on that in the past. It looks good though. So another thing that I like looking at it from far away is that it kind of, is this centered? Let me make sure. It just kind of looks, it's centered. It kind of reminds me of Office. It reminds me of the new Office 2021, the latest Office design for Windows 11 in terms of having search button in the center top of the application. Doesn't look bad at all, honestly. Doesn't look bad. It looks perfectly in line with the whole design mica style of Windows 11. Redesign volume HUD. So looking at the volume HUD there, redesign. Let's keep going. There we go. So this is something they have kind of changed already. You still have to go into the bottom right corner of your screen to click on it to do things, but redesign volume HUD, that's good. That's good. That's a good step because the volume mixer is something I desperately missed, having to click through all this extra stuff to finally get to the volume mixer. They fixed it a little bit in the Insider program, but I believe for Windows 11 normal general people, you have to go through a lot of clicks in order to get to the volume mixer, I believe. Looks good. Master volume. Widgets on the desktop. All right, let's see this. Are you going to zoom out for me? All right, so you got application folders, weather. All right, so pause it right there. I like this idea. I know some people hate the idea of having widgets on like their desktop, like how Windows Vista had it, but I kind of like this idea where you not necessarily a folder widget, but like weather there or CPU RAM usage, kind of like how when you're trying to benchmark. I like the idea of widgets on the desktop a lot. So let's go keep going. Search for anything. So you got universal search, kind of like that one app that I looked at a while ago. I can't think of the idea. I can't think of it. I looked at it already. It's called, I think, Fluent Search. There you go. I looked at Fluent Search, and basically that allowed you to search anything on your computer. And it kind of has the Windows 11 mica design language in it too, which is pretty dope. You can change themes and all that stuff. But Microsoft by default has the search that's next to the start button that you can't move around or anything like that. I kind of feel like they should also include like a universal search that isn't necessarily in the taskbar. All right, so that's that. Obviously, this is not real software, and there's like a teaser at the end of this, or a funny thing at the end. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And then for those of you listening, this is a blue screen of death error. Yeah, it's funny. Haha. So yeah, that is the first concept by Concept Central. Let me see how I can pull off this second concept because it's kind of confusing to pull up. Let me see here. If I click this and then let me see. Can I pull it up? I think I can. Yes, I can. All right, cool. So the second concept here is from Reddit user, what is his name? Exotic Radio 23. Thank you for letting me use your concept. So this concept that I'm about to pull up is from him, and it's also very nice looking. This is for Zoom, basically the application Zoom. I don't know how I'm going to pull this up because it's not actually showing up. Give me just 2 seconds to pull it up. There it is. All right. And then me in browser. All right. So here it is. This is the second concept here. This is Zoom 11, basically a reimagined Zoom client for Windows 11 in the mica design language as well. Again, this is by Exotic Radio 23 on Reddit. And just when I saw it at first and I was just browsing through Windows r/Windows redesign, this popped out to me, and there's a lot that popped out to me, but this popped out to me because I am taking a class right now. Like not right now, but last week I was in class, and we have to use Zoom for our class for our college. And man, the Zoom client, obviously it's just a universal client, but like I kind of wish that the company would take it a step further and update it to Windows 11, but it's not going to happen. We already know that, but this is what I expect to see out of a Zoom client. So it's got the rounded corners everywhere because everybody needs to love rounded corners if you like Windows 11, right? Hint, hint, sarcasm. Got pop out chat. Everything is rounded. They really went out with rounded. There's a Mica design language. You can kind of see through the background. You kind of see his desktop background kind of bleed through to it with this little robot. You see the details in the front. It just looks so good. It looks so good. Going deeper in, you got, if you have upcoming meetings, basically this is if you sign into Zoom and you have an account and you're just a person that signs into Zoom. I am not. You see this kind of screen here, but it doesn't look like this, obviously. This is just a cleaned up look of that whole interface, and this looks great. This looks great. You have rounded corners, new meeting, join, schedule, share screen, and then your upcoming meetings, if you have any, if your company uses meetings like that, uses Zoom. Going down further, we also have, and also this is a dark theme currently that I'm looking at here. So we have this here, the robot, the pop-out robot. It looks good. Like you can see the presenter on the outside, which is good. Going down further, I don't believe this is the most recent one though from the guy. Going down further, Zoom cloud meetings in light theme essentially. It just looks good. Like this is kind of like something I would expect to see on the Mac. Like Zoom would make it for the Mac because it's Apple, and Apple thinks about design apparently more than anyone else. However, right here, I don't know if I can zoom in easily. It's not going to do it. Right here, this edge here doesn't look as round. Like this, I guess because it's smaller, but it looks too round in my opinion. It looks like it's more round. I can't zoom in anymore, but going down further, I like it. I like it a lot. Like it's already setting into me. I'm feeling this is like one of the less radical redesigns. This is like something you see on Twitter, right? If you follow certain people on Twitter, Z Alid Designs, Firecube Studios, and a bunch of other people. The people who do the redesigns of things just for fun, this is like something that you'd see from them. I don't know how I feel about the Apple shape, the Apple over rounded corner icons here. If it's a Windows 11 redesign, I kind of feel like it should just have like the sharper rounded corners. Keeping on going, more light theme, and yeah, so that is Zoom 11 from Exotic. What is his name? Exotic Radio 23. I know he had another one, and I'm gonna try to pull it up. But in the meantime, that is Zoom 11 for that right there. It's a good looking redesign. It's a very simple. I want to say simplistic redesign, and it just, to me, it just feels good. Like it's simple enough for me to deal with. Now, for the final thing that I want to say, this is the app pick of the week. This is an app that I was hoping to integrate into the podcast itself, but I could not do it, sadly. This app is QuickLook. So right here, this app is QuickLook by Patty Zhu. I hope I said it right. And QuickLook is basically when you, on macOS, when you press the spacebar over any file or folder and you see a preview window pop up, that's QuickLook. And QuickLook also allows you, let's click on some pictures. Obviously, QuickLook, I believe, has rounded corners on Windows 11 if you run on Windows 11, but the screenshots have not been updated on their Microsoft Store listing for Windows 11 yet. They're still Windows 10, so it's just square corners, sharp corners. QuickLook, I found, also allows me to play videos, so you can view pictures there. It allows me to play videos. It allows me to just not have to open it up. You can even play music just by clicking on an MP3 or M4A and just hitting the space bar, and it just starts playing. And you can even keep it on top and do all this stuff. It's just, if you don't want to have to open up a separate program for every single time you want to just quickly view something, or with if you're with a kid, like a 4-year-old, like I was with earlier today, and you just want to quickly show them something, and you just hit spacebar with QuickLook open automatically, it just plays it or shows the picture in that, and it just works. It's beautiful. It is quite beautiful. I hope that the developer sees this and they update their icons and things like that for Windows 11. This is the video view, so it allows you to also scrub your video and see exactly where you want to see on the video. So basically, you can watch a whole movie with QuickLook, and it's got little buttons here to pin it on top, which is what a lot of people have wanted with like modern flyouts and stuff. Allows you to pin it on top. That way, let's say you're watching a video on your computer that's been downloaded on your computer. You can open it up and you can just put it in the corner of your screen. If you have a 49-inch ultra wide screen like I have right now, I could put it in the corner of my screen, size it big enough, and then do whatever else I want while Quick Look is open. And it just works. It's free too, which is the nicest part of all of it. You can view documents, previews of documents, and open with various documents or open with various applications with it. Overall, it is really good. There's a lot more pictures here. You can view your programs, the code in your programs, and things like that. And then the final picture here, you could just view overall zip files, what's inside zip files and stuff like that, which is pretty nice. And open up the zip clients with that. So that is my app pick of the week. It is Quick Look from Patty Zhu, I believe. And it is free on the Microsoft Store. You can take a look at it now. It says it does not work Windows 10s devices such as the Surface Go 3. But I'm sure something will happen with this app. I hope something will happen with this app because this is a brilliant idea that I'm surprised was not included in Microsoft Windows 11 currently. I said the whole name. So yeah, that is Quick Look, and that is all of the chunky show notes, the extra chunky show notes for the show. That was a long one. Definitely couldn't have been a video or a bunch of videos. It would take me forever. But yeah, that is launch day for Windows 11 and Office 2021 and the latest 2021 Surface devices, the Surface Laptop Studio, the Surface Go 3, the Surface Pro 8, and then we're getting the Surface Duo 2, obviously the successor to this that apparently has solved a lot of the problems that the Surface Studio has had, or not Surface Studio, Surface Duo has had. These names, it's hard to say too much when you're saying it for an hour straight. We have a whole lot of other devices. We have the accessibility kit that Microsoft came out with, which is kind of like stickers you stick to the back of different things of your Surface devices to know if you're, say, blind and you can't really like tell, if you're blind, you can't see where the tabs are, but you can feel it if different things are shaped differently. So it's kind of like Braille. So that is the whole podcast. That is I call it episode 0 because I didn't know how well this would work. But like I'm saying in a nutshell, this podcast, what is it I call it again? Next Windows on Air. I'll get used to it. Next Windows on Air was presented by me, Kwaku, on this channel, Next Windows. And it will be available on just about all podcast platforms out there. Apple Podcasts, Spotify's one of them, TuneIn, just a whole bunch of podcast networks out there. You'll be able to view it on all of those things. So even if you missed today's show live, I don't know if I'll be able to do it live every time, but today's show is live and hopefully next show will be live. The concrete date to be able to tune in each week or maybe every 2 weeks, depending on how news is, we'll see how it is. I will let everybody know, but I'm hoping to eventually do it weekly, but it'll probably end up being like bi-weekly or even monthly, depending on how chunky news is. Also, there are going to be some new things coming to the podcast. Right now, it is just me doing it. It's kind of like a solo cast because this was a chunky day, news day. There'll be interviews with developers, maybe some interviews with some major faces, product stuff, and just more stuff. I put it all in the community tab on the YouTube channel. So it is youtube.com/nextwindows for those people who end up listening to this after the fact. But I hope to do this live more often. This was definitely a interesting thing for me to do for the first time. I haven't really done this kind of thing in a while. It's been like 2 years, 2018 since I've done a podcast. And there will be guests eventually, like I said, working on that right now. So yeah, hope everybody enjoyed this show, the very first show, episode 0, because it was kind of like a test run, but it seemed to work out really well. My name is Kwaku Asafu Ajay, and I hope you all have a lovely, what is today? Tuesday, October 5th? A lovely Tuesday. Take care, everybody. All right. Finally hit stop recording. Sorry, I could not look at chat too much because there wasn't too much going on. But for those of you who were here watching, when those silent viewers watching, yeah, that was Next Windows on Air. I keep wanting to call it my old podcast name. My old podcast, for those people who didn't know, was called The Art of Thought, and it doesn't exist really anymore. You can still see it on those platforms, but it doesn't really exist anymore. But this is that new thing. It was definitely a different change of pace. I wonder how everybody's doing with Windows 11 currently, playing around with it, trying to figure out what to do with it, how to access things, because a lot of things have changed. You can't drag to the task bar at the bottom anymore. The volume area is different now. Where notifications come out is different now. Yeah, a lot of things have changed. I remember going back to my YouTube channel, my old YouTube channel, Next Gen Windows, back in 2013, and that channel had at most like 450 people following it. It was like my first endeavor right out of high school to do a YouTube channel. In fact, let me see. Let me see something. Can I pull it up? I can't sign out, that's for sure. Otherwise, I won't be able to view the live stream. But actually, you know what? Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, you know what? I can find it. So if I switch it over to this, I'm gonna try to pull it up so I can show you guys the old channel. I hope it doesn't ruin things for me doing this. Okay, it doesn't. It's not gonna ruin the stream. So let me pull up the old channel in YouTube Studio. Don't really care who views this stuff at this point. Please don't subscribe to that channel, because I was kind of lost at one point in the channel, later on in the channel's history. All right, let me see. So this is Next Gen Windows. This is the channel that I started off in the beginning. Like, I tried to come back in 2020, like the day before my birthday. That's why I made this video, the return. But it never really happened. That's Next Gen Windows. I changed the name just because I didn't want people to get confused and find both channels. But this is my old channel right here. This is when I'm 28 right now. This channel came out when? This channel came out in 2012. So 2021, yeah, that was almost 10 years ago that this channel came out. That was during the days of Windows 8 that this channel came out. Like, I was looking at YouTube RT, the Windows 8 store, not 8.1, the Windows 8 store. Yeah, that's nostalgia right there. Tripping back. I remember Jen from Microsoft put on Twitter the other day, like, who was around the Insider program from the very beginning, and I realized that I've been part of the Windows Insider program since since the third day it came out. I've been part of it pretty much from day one, essentially, which is crazy to think. I've been around looking at Windows apps and things like that since 2012, and this one got a copyright claim for some reason, probably like a dumb one. But the Windows 8 store, Newegg, the People Tile, the People Hub. You guys remember the People Hub on Windows 8? Man, YouTube Plus. I was looking at a lot of YouTube apps. We used to have a Google app, Google search app, by the way. This was the official Google search. Can I click it? Yeah, this was the official. Can I make it full screen? I think I can. Yeah, this was the official Google search application. I don't know if it's gonna show it full screen. Is it going to show it? I can't tell because I can't see what I'm actually looking at right now. But essentially, back in the day, Google had an official search button. Yeah, it's not going to show it. My screen is too big. But Google had an official search button or search application on Windows back in Windows 8. And obviously, I don't have any applications on Windows currently other than Chrome now. But that was Google search. We had Xbox games, Xbox Smart Glass from the 360 days, Xbox Video, and then they updated Smart Glass to Xbox One Smart Glass. And then here, around these days, is when Windows Phone was still around, and they would show like they had Windows Phone 7.8 that was potentially coming, like it was leaked. So I made that video for that. This was when the Microsoft Band was first coming out, the fitness watch from Microsoft that was killed off by Band 2 or 3. I think it was Band 2 that it was killed off. And then Windows 8 surpasses Android in web traffic. That's an interesting one. It's just fun. It's just interesting looking back. Like, the past, seeing what I've been through and what I've done. And then I quit doing the channel altogether for some reason. I think since I started school, college, I quit doing the channel for personal reasons. And then fast forwarding to 2020, pandemic happens, and now it is here. And next Windows is here, is reborn or something. Windows Win Beta RSS, by the way, for those of you who follow the Windows blogs or Windows type blogs or websites on Microsoft, used to be called Win Beta. And I think Zach Bowden used to write for Win Bowden. Used to write for Win Beta. And now he got picked up to Windows Central, which is crazy. During those days, Windows Central was called Windows Phone Central. Windows Messenger was still around, and it died March 15, 2013. There's a lot here. Oh man, the throwbacks. Oh yeah, so let me conclude this before I keep creating nostalgia for myself more. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. It will be up shortly. The After Effects stuff will be up shortly. Give me a couple hours to edit it down correctly. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this whole shenanigans that I've been going through. And yeah, stay tuned for other videos next week. I think I might upload some tutorials next week on how to use Windows 11 in the first place. So yeah, take care, everybody.